Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're in my bathroom because I'm going to start my declutter series. I think I have this broken up into about 7 videos. So I'm going to upload a video a day for a week. The first video is going to be everything that has to do with the base. So primers, powders, concealers, foundations, and setting sprays. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so this is what we're starting with. I have all of my primers, my setting sprays, my foundations, my concealers, correctors, and then any powder products, whether it's loose powders or compacts. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to set the camera up here. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the primers. So this one is the Revlon Photo Ready. This is actually new. I finally picked it up after hearing the Taylor rave about this for years. So far I like it. I'm going to keep trying that one. This one, the Samuel Perfect Pore Balm. I've had this one for a while. This was a Korean beauty purchase. You can see I've used quite a bit. I do actually like this one, but the more I use it, the more I realize that it's just a little bit too dewy for me. It doesn't keep me matte. It makes my skin look nice, but throughout the day I just get a little bit too oily. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that one. This one, I got this one in a BoxyCharm, the No Problem Primer. I really like this one. I'm going to keep that one. These two from AOA, I got these for that Shop Miss A video that I did. This one I got, it's a blur primer. I got this one just on a whim because it has all these little gold shimmers, and I just, was curious. I kind of wanted to see how it looked on the skin. Really didn't show up as glittery. It just made my skin, illuminated. And then this one is the matte one. I'm definitely going to get rid of this one. I don't need any illuminating products. I just got it because it was $1. I, wanted to see it. Where's this other one I have? Okay, so I have the Revolution Mattify Matte and Fix Primer. This one I don't think really keeps me all that matte, so I'm going to get rid of that one, but I'm going to keep this one. This one, let's see, the Cover FX blurring primer. Got this one in a BoxyCharm. I actually like this one. I'm going to keep this one. It's not mattifying, but it does make my skin nice and smooth, so I'm going to keep that one. This one I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. This is a Smashbox Photo Finish. Got this one in a BoxyCharm a while back, and I've pretty much used as much as I want to use, so get rid of that. This No Problem Prime Essence. Initially I was going to get rid of this one, but I actually found a really good use for this, so I'm going to keep that, and I'll explain how I use it later. Let's see, this one, the Catrice Prime and Fine Transformer Drops. I add this into my foundation when I need it to be waterproof, so when we go to Disney for the day and I don't want my makeup sweating off my face, I will mix in a couple drops with my foundation. I actually really like that, so I'm going to keep that. This is a sample of the Cover FX but it's the mattifying version, and so far I like this, so I'm going to keep that. And then this is the Poreless Putty Primer. I really enjoyed this. I'm going to keep that. Really interesting texture. It's not mattifying, but it does really smooth the skin down. And then this is what I bought by accident, thinking that it was the e.l.f. when everyone was running around trying to find the putty primer, and I found this, and I thought, I finally found it. Then I got it home and it was a balm. And so I had put it away in my closet because it wasn't what I wanted. I had enough primers open. This is a mattifying balm, and I actually like this a little more than I like this one. It keeps me a lot more matte. So I just started using this one not too recently, so I'm going to continue to, test this out, play around with it. Okay, so far getting rid of 4 primers. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one too. I have enough between these ones that I just don't need. This one, I used quite a bit of it, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. I've had it for a while. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let's do sprays. Okay, so this one I got in a Boxy Luxe. This is a Truffle Therapy Aqua Illumination. Makes the skin very, very, very illuminating. Which, that's what it's supposed to do. So I think it's good quality. It's, nice from what I could see, but I already have oily skin, so I don't need anything illuminating. These are all of my current setting sprays that I use. I always decant my big sprays into these little Scandinavia bottles, and they fit perfectly in here. And then I just refill these as I need. This one is my Scandinavia, keeping that one. That one's my favorite. This one is the Catrice mattifying spray, not the dewy one, but the mattifying one. This is more like a semi-matte. It makes my skin look very beautiful and healthy, but it's not mattifying. So if I use a really good setting powder and I have like a really nice mattifying base, and then I put this on top, it gives you just a really beautiful semi-matte look to the skin, very healthy. So I like that one. This one is the Makeup Revolution one that I got recently. I'm still testing it out, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep that one. And then this one is my MAC Fix Plus. I use this one if my face is just looking a little bit too powdery, and I also use this as a mixing medium for my shadows. So go ahead and keep that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to correctors. Okay, these three by Essence. I'm gonna get rid of all of these. I have the pink one, the green one, the yellow one. These are very liquidy. They don't do anything on the skin, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of those. Let's see. This is Tip Concealer by, I think it's the same. Yeah, the same. A pink corrector. I really don't do pink correcting. I'm into the peach correcting at the moment, but I'm just not into a bright under eye, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. Let's see. This was actually my LA Girl Peach Corrector, which I love the LA Girl Corrector, but I hated the packaging. And then I had this Korean Beauty Peach Corrector that I didn't really care for the peach corrector, but I liked the packaging. So I emptied it out, which took forever. And then I put the cover LA Girl Peach Corrector into here, which took forever, because as I would squeeze it in, it would collect in the top, and then I'd have to shake it down, and it took forever. I don't know if it was worth the effort, but I do really love this corrector, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to use it up, and then I don't think I would repurchase it just because I can't stand the packaging. And then this one is the Ulta Beauty Color Correcting. This one I like, not as much as I like the LA Girl one. I think this one's a little bit more drying, but I will use it. And then this is my Revolution green corrector. I'm going to keep this one. I'm still playing around with that. And then these are my mixers. So I have my NYX whitening drops if a foundation is too dark. And then this is my olive colored ones if a foundation is too light, and also if I need a touch of yellow. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the concealers. Okay, so this one, this is the IT Bye Bye Under Eye. I've had this one for a long time. I really like this concealer. It's very thick and emollient. You only need a tiny, tiny bit. And then you just warm it up with your finger. And look at that. It's got great coverage. However, it is getting pretty old. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this on. I would repurchase this if I saw it in a QVC Today's Special Value. If I enjoyed all the products in this special value, I would be happy to have this one again. But this one is just a little too old. This one I'm definitely getting rid of. I can't stand this concealer. This is the Maybelline Age Rewind. I had this several years ago in the brightening one, and I couldn't stand it, got rid of it. And then years later, people were still raving about this concealer, so I bought it again, but I bought it in the treatment. I don't understand this concealer. First of all, it's dirty and disgusting, and this sponge is just, I know it's antimicrobial, but it's gross. And it gives me no coverage, but it still looks dry and cakey under my eyes. So my eyes look dry and crepey, but you can still see my dark circles. So I don't understand this concealer. I'm getting rid of it, and I'm never going to buy it again. This one is fairly new to me. I just bought this last week. This is the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover. So far, I really like it. I got the shade L400 Classic Ivory. I think this was the third lightest one. The lightest one was definitely way too light. And then the second one, I think, was a little too pink. The second lightest was too pink. So I went with the third one, and it's a pretty good match. I'm still figuring out how I feel about this concealer. This one, I don't think I'm getting rid of any of these other concealers, guys. This one is my Korean Beauty Concealer by the same. I like this one. It's nice and creamy. It's got good coverage. This is one of my favorite concealers, Revolution Conceal and Define in the shade C2, I think. Yeah, this is my second concealer. I went through the first one, which was C1. That one was a little bit too light. And when I finished, I ended up going with C2, and I like it. And this one is a ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Fair 08. I actually like this a lot more than I thought I would. I bought it on a whim at Ulta because I just kept hearing the hype about it. And I thought it might be a little bit too drying, but actually I really like this concealer, and it holds up beautifully when I wear this to work. So like 12, 13, 14-hour shifts, and it's just really nice. I like that one. This one I'm almost done. This is my Catrice Liquid Camouflage in Porcelain. They actually have several new shades now, so I really like this concealer a lot more than I initially did. At first I didn't like it. I can't stand the smell, but the concealer is a really nice concealer. So I'm almost done with this. Then it'll be out of my collection. I will repurchase it in the future, but I want to go through some more concealers first. And then this one, this is my Maybelline Age Rewind in the shade 15 Fair. This is actually my second one. I had used this before, really liked it, and then I had bought a second one, and I hadn't opened it because I started using, some of these other concealers. And then I just recently finally opened up the second one, and I remember how much I used to like it, so I'm going to keep that one. All right, let's go ahead and move on to foundations. Let's see, I think a few that I can get rid of. Let's see. All right, these Dermablend drops, you can see how gloopy and gross these are. These are pigments. You're supposed to add them to serums or moisturizers. Anything that's lightweight that needs more coverage, you just add a couple drops and it's supposed to increase the coverage. The problem is that these are so dry and cakey, and no matter what I mix it in, like even mixing it with just a straight up moisturizer, it just looks terrible on the skin. So go ahead and get rid of those. I had high hopes for those and they're just terrible. This CYO long lasting foundation, this is in the shade 101. Took me forever to get this. It was always sold out online, and my Walgreens never even carries anything CYO. And so one day I just went into the store and they said I can order the shade I want and they would ship it to the store. So that's what I ended up doing. And then I don't love this foundation, you guys. It's just a little bit too dewy for me. I think it looks nice on, it's a beautiful foundation, but it's just too dewy for me. So if you have really dry skin, I think you would really love this because it is very nice and skin-like, but it's just too dewy for me. And then this one is the opposite. This one is way too drying. This is Even Steven, the Whipped Foundation. I really, really wanted to love this, you guys. It has great coverage and it is very long lasting, but it's just so drying on the skin. And for a while I was combining these two. This was too drying, this was too dewy, and the combination was actually really, really nice. But you know what, I don't want to have to fuss around with my foundations and having to mix them just to like them. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of them both. This is my double lasting foundation. This is a Korean beauty purchase from Etude House. Yeah, Etude House. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Estee Lauder Double Wear, which I used to have. Yeah, so I used to have, this used to be a sample of the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and before it ran out, I did compare to the two, and they are comparable dupes. I really, really like this foundation. Yeah, it's a great foundation. It keeps me matte, but not, drying. Looks really nice on the skin, keeping that. This one is now actually perfect for travel. It's no longer the Double Wear, but I think, what do I have in it right now? I think I have the Peach Perfect in it now. So I keep this for travel. It's perfect. So speaking of Peach Perfect, this is in the shade Snow. I really like this foundation. I went through several samples trying to find the right color. Too Faced, the Peach Perfect line is very yellow. And then they finally came out with a few new shades. And so I got Snow. It's still very yellow, but it blends nicely into my skin. It looks really nice. It's like a semi-matte, comfort matte foundation. I think it looks really beautiful on the skin, so I'm going to keep that one. Let's see, this CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream for oily skin. I use this for work. It has nice light to medium coverage. I use this with a nice powder on top, and it just looks really nice on my skin, and it wears away nicely at work. It doesn't end up looking cakey. This one, I really like this foundation too. This is Inglot YSM Young Skin Makeup. It's almost empty though. I've had it for a long time. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. Let's see, this is one of my favorite foundations, Revolution Conceal and Define in the shade F3. I love this foundation. It looks so good on my skin. I know some people have a hard time with this foundation, and you know, people don't seem to like the doe foot applicator, but you know, people have no problem smearing their concealer with the doe foot all over their face and all over their blemishes, but for some reason they think it's disgusting to do that with foundation. I don't get it. I love this foundation. It's definitely my holy grail. This one, let's see, the It Cosmetics oil-free matte version. I had the original and hated it, got rid of it. And then when they made this matte version, I got it on QVC and I really enjoyed this. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. This one looks really nice on my skin. This Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. Basically, this is just a hydrating gel cream, a tinted. It really doesn't give you any coverage at all, but it's very, very good for hydration. So if I'm ever feeling really dry and just crepey looking, I will put this on under my foundation, and I really like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep that one. This one I'm gonna get rid of, the Maybelline Matte and Poreless. I don't really understand this foundation. It's not matte, it's not poreless. It doesn't do much for the skin. It's got a really, well, at first I thought it was a really strange, I guess you can't really tell like that, beigey undertone, but actually I think it blended into my skin and looked quite nice, the undertone. What is this? Porcelain, probably. Yeah, porcelain. I just don't like it, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. This Dermacol is extreme high coverage makeup. It's supposed to be for like actors and, you know, stage makeup, and this was all the rage a couple years ago. I really like this as a mixer for if I have something that's a little bit too sheer and I need just a little bit more coverage, or sometimes I will use this the way that these were meant to be, and I'll just mix this in with like a lightweight serum or a lightweight moisturizer, and it's really nice. This is it gets very, very oily though, so I can only wear this for a few hours, and then I would need to you know, blot and reapply powder. So I only wear that if I'm just going out briefly. And this one, this is the, what's it called? Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream. I like this. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. It has a very strange gray undertone, but it blends nicely into the skin. You don't really see that strange gray undertone. I will use this a little bit longer, and then I'll probably get rid of it and I won't repurchase it. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the last category for today. This is going to be all of my powders. Okay, so I've got this Maybelline Better Stay Skin Transforming Powder in the shade Porcelain. Yeah, in the shade Porcelain. I actually really like this. It's for acne-prone skin. I think it's got salicylic acid in it. Oh, there I am. Really nice powder. It's a little bit powdery on my skin, and I've had it for quite a while, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. I did like it though, and I would possibly repurchase it in the future. I think it's a nice drugstore powder. Okay, this is the Laura Geller Baked Bounce and Brighten in Porcelain. I like this one. This one is really good if I'm feeling just a little bit dry, because this is very illuminating, and it also looks really nice under the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that one. This is the It Cosmetics Pores. I'm going to get rid of this. It used to be in a palette, a face palette, and it was the only item I liked in the palette, so I tried to depot it and it broke. So I ended up just, you know, breaking it apart and putting it as a loose powder. I don't know if doing that ruined the formula, but I don't like this powder. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to keep the container because, you know, I always use these for my loose powders. So all my loose powders, when they come in the big canisters, I always decant them and put them in these smaller ones so that they fit nicer in here. This is my Coty Airspun. This one is my favorite powder. I love my favorite loose powder. I love this. I'm going to keep that. RCMA. I like the RCMA, so I think I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this one for now. The Kaolin, this was a loose powder. I used to do, oh gosh, years ago, I used to do all mineral powder, loose mineral powder products from either Silk Naturals or Everyday Minerals. So I would do the primer, the foundation, the blush, bronzer, everything was loose powder. And then this was the Kaolin setting powder for oily skin. This is really old. I really just don't use it anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. Let's see, Brighten Up banana powder. This is the only banana powder I've ever found that is light enough for my skin. Most banana powders are just dark yellow, and this is also the only it's not mattifying per se, but it's not illuminating, that I've been able to use under my eyes that don't make me look dry and crepey. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep that. Let's see, I think I'm keeping most of these powders, you guys. This is the AOA Studio Perfect that I got in that shop Miss A. I actually really like this. I'm gonna keep that, keep playing with it. This is that pure 4-in-1 mineral makeup powder foundation. I like this. I started using it, where'd it go? With this. This looks really nice on the skin, but the more the day goes on, the more powder I end up looking. So I use it with this, No Pore Bloom Prime Essence. This is a little more dewy, and the two of illuminating, and the two of these together looks really, really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. Let's see, the Bare Minerals Concealer, I think it's in Well Rested. This looks really, really dry and crepey under my eyes. I can't use this under my eyes. And I'm really not going to go through the trouble to get a loose powder foundation and use it as a spot concealer. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. This is just a little Essence mini white powder. This is actually really nice for traveling, so I keep that. This is my Samuel Perfect Pore Pack. I actually I got this Korean Beauty. I really like this. So I'm going to keep that. This Hourglass looks really nice under the eyes. I got the mini translucent setting powder, so I'm going to keep that. Occasionally I wear this on my whole face, but usually I just wear it under my eyes. And then this is my go-to under eye setting powder, Wet n Wild Photo Focus. I really like this. It's soft and illuminating, looks really nice under my eyes. And this is my go-to setting powder, the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade Translucent. You can see I've hit pan. I use this all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the RCMA. I don't like it nearly as much as I like my Coty Airspun. And I don't reach for these loose powders all that often because I'm just at the moment more into pressed powder. So I'm going to get rid of the RCMA. I will find the big bottle and I will pull that out and I will declutter. All right, guys. So let's see. This is the first round of declutter. This is what I'm keeping. And so far, that's what I'm getting rid of. All right, so keep an eye out for tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's video, I think, is going to be everything else to do with the face. So bronzers, blushes, and highlighters. All right, guys, so I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.